It's time for another movie review. And, you know, I know it says that I'm going to be reviewing Superman 3, so why am I holding a copy of the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night right here? It makes no sense, right? I'm going to be reviewing Superman 3. It's the whole collection. They released this one back in 2006, I believe. Yeah, 2006. All the Superman movies in one collection here. And so I'll be reviewing Superman 3. But why am I holding this one right here? I'll tell you why. Because the guy who directed this is the same guy who directed Superman 3. It makes no sense. Richard Lester, this is a masterpiece of comedy right here. A Hard Day's Night is a great movie. It's the Beatles' shining accomplishment to film here. It showed that not only were these guys great musicians, but they were also fabulous entertainers. Richard Lester made it so that these guys who are not trained actors actually can make a pretty decent quality film. But why would you take the same guy who directed that type of movie and make him direct a superhero movie? Richard Donner, who was responsible for the other ones, why would they? Why would he step away and allow a man like this to destroy his creation? Now destroy. How the hell can a movie as good as Superman 2 be followed up by something that was completely a disgrace? I'll tell you why. By putting this man in charge. Superman 3 is a downright comedy fiasco. It's not only horrible, it's a fucking joke. It is. It's like Richard Lester was like, hey, you're gonna put me in charge of this movie? Well, guess the fuck what? I'm gonna fucking annihilate Superman. I'm gonna make him a laughing stock, and that's exactly what it is. It's a fucking joke. Now, if anything, there is more Richard Pryor. Yeah, that's right. Richard Pryor's in this movie. Huh? Richard Pryor is in this movie, in a Superman movie. Take a moment to think that over. What? Why is he here? Why is he in this movie? Well, he's a computer programmer, and you know he's got to team up with Superman to take down an evil computer that's being utilized by Robert Vaughn in this movie. So you've got Gene Hackman, who is a tremendous villain in the first Superman movie, and he returned for the second one in a slightly smaller role, but still he was still there, and he ain't here at all. He's not in the fucking movie. Where is he? Also, there ain't that much Margaret Kidder in here. There's no Lois Lane. There's Lana Lane, played by Annette O'Toole, and it's pretty cool that she'd go on to play Clark Kent's mom. She played Martha Kent on the Smallville series, which was a great series. A big fan of that as well. But hey, even with all these great actors, Robert Vaughn of all people, a megastar, and you've got the great Christopher Reeve coming back to play Superman. What could go wrong with here? Let's just get right into it. The first scene in this movie is just a clusterfuck of shit. The city is just in total turmoil. This guy drives his car into a fire hydrant, and the car fills up with water. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered into the shit dome. You've heard of the Thunderdome. Well, this is the shit dome. Dinner is served. I'm putting a big pot of shit stew right in front of you, and I'm gonna make you eat every last bite. That's what Richard Lester is saying here. What the fuck was he thinking? A Superman movie that starts off this way. A guy drives his car into a hydrant and it fills up with water. This is something I've seen in Disney, in the Looney Tunes cartoon, in a Merry Melody. I've never seen this before, where they actually take a fucking, serious superhero like Superman. Just, it's okay. Like I said, my Spider-Man 3 review, if you want to make some things a little bit of comedy, here and there, that's fine. All seriousness is a little bit too much. Guys running around in tights, you gotta have a little bit of humor every now and then. But this takes it way too far. This is fucking ridiculous. But some of the humor, like that part with the hydrant, I was just staring at it first, but then later on I laughed to myself, just thinking of how sad it is. It's a sad moment in the Superman uh, chronology, in the history. It's just, it don't make any fucking sense. And you've got this part in the movie where Superman just has self-doubt, and he he splits into two halves, and you've got one of this. He starts growing some stubble, and this represents him being bad. I love this. He starts binge drinking, becomes a fucking drunk in this movie. Let me repeat that. Superman becomes a fucking drunk in this movie. Like, where the hell did he get these ideas? Once again, I have to go back. Like, even this movie, which had some ridiculous moments, but that was because it was a comedy. But it was never that ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand. This was still comedy that still made sense to a point, and then he just takes Superman and makes it even sillier than the Beatles movie. How the fuck do you do that? So, Superman's really down on his luck. I guess you could say he was having a hard day's night. Yeah, he's having a hard day's night. And it won't stop. It's going on 8 days a week. And he's saying to Lana Lang, I want to hold your hand. Beatles reference up the ass. If this guy's going to be super cheesy, so am I. So this movie, it just ends with Robert Vaughn becoming a cyborg, and I just lost interest at this point. This movie's just a fucking catastrophe on all ends. The most decent scene in this movie is when he splits into two halves and Clark Kent starts fighting Superman in the junkyard. That scene is okay. Clark Kent ends up choking Superman, and he ends up, sort of killing him in a way. Superman doesn't kill, but he kills himself, which also doesn't make sense. Or he makes him fade away so he becomes whole again. And, this is never explained. There's so many things in these Superman movies, some of them that they just added for the movies, and a lot of them are hit or miss. Like when he goes around the whole planet like a whole bunch of times in the first one to rewind time. That's a power just added for the movie. But that one, it worked. I was like, hey, he's Superman. He's super. If he wants to reverse time, hey, he can do it. But here, splitting into two halves, he can turn to a drunk in the blink of an eye. It's supposed to be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, not to drink a shot glass as fast as the eye can see. I don't get where Richard Lester's mind was when he made this movie. I think he was drinking. I think he was on a crack. I think he was smoking something funny. Yeah, real funny. And I think he was smoking it up his ass as well, because this movie, it reeks. It smells of shit. It's horrible. Really, if the plot sounds weird as I described it, cyborgs splitting into two halves, fire hydrants filling up cars with water, programmers played by Richard Pryor, and this is by far one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Now, Richard Pryor, a quality comedian, one of the greatest of all time. Now, his type of humor was never really my kind of thing. He is great for his type of humor, but he's not a good actor. This is, I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge here his acting. Now, he has acted in other movies, but I don't think he was that great of an actor, to be quite honest, compared to, other great comedian actors like Eddie Murphy pales in comparison, but this is Richard Pryor we're talking about. This is an overacted performance, and I really don't know if this was done on purpose or not, if the overacting was there to lend to the humor, but whether or not, it's not funny. He's not being funny in this movie. He's being a dope. And that is his character. He's supposed to be a clumsy oaf and shit. But I just gotta say, I think that, the movie just sucks and his performance is horrible. Christopher Reeve does a good job, but he's not really given the outlet to really, do what he can like in the first two movies. This is a piece of shit fucking movie. It really is. I'm not out of line by giving this movie a 2 out of 10. It seriously is junk. It only gets, a little bit because of, some good acting by Christopher Reeve. I also have to add the initial plot, you know, by Robert Vaughn in this movie is to take over the coffee bean industry in Colombia. Enough said, motherfuckers. Enough said to tell you that this is a fucking horrible ass movie. So Superman thwarts that plot and he moves on to his next. But where did they come up with this plot of all things of world domination? His first idea as a major villain is, hey, why don't I take over some coffee beans? Yeah, rule Dunkin' Donuts, rule Starbucks. What a great idea for a superhero movie. This is definitely the way you want to go. Lex Luthor is having like the whole planet fall apart in the first movie. General Zod is about to make everybody under his control and obey only him. And then this guy comes along and he wants to take over the coffee bean industry. He wants to open up a Starbucks, motherfuckers. Well, you know what? I'll take a double cafe latte and I'll take this movie to go. Yeah, I want it to go all right. I want it to go right in your shitter. I tried flushing this movie down the toilet a couple of times, but the disc simply wouldn't flush. I guess that they gotta make the little hole in the toilet a little bit wider so I can shove those fucking shitty ass DVDs down there. But it don't want to fit. Alright. Superman 3. A piece of shit. It's a horrible movie, and well, the sad thing is, there's another movie that's even worse than this one, and it's called The Quest for Peace. It's Superman 4. It still stars Christopher Reeve, and Gene Hackman's actually back for that one. Well, there you go. Superman 3, a steaming pile of fucking monkey shit. This movie, if you have good memories of Superman 1 and 2, which you rightfully should, do not see this movie. No, seriously, don't even bother with it. Just try to keep that, those positive memories of those movies in check, because when you see Christopher Reeve in a movie like this, especially now that he's gone, that he's departed from this world, it's just sad to see that Richard Lester came along and slapped him in the face, basically, making that him be a total fucking goofball in this movie. And and this is a real shame because Richard Lester has had some fine contributions to film. A Hard Day's Night is an excellent movie filled with great musical performances and comedy. It's a classic. And to come along and just shit all over one of the greatest comic book franchises, the most recognizable character. I will even go further that, if you haven't seen Superman, you've heard the name Superman more than you've heard Batman, and even my favorite, Spider-Man. You've heard him more than the X-Men. So why would you take, the biggest superhero of all time, the one that's been around the longest, and just shit all over him, when you've done so much to help one avenue of pop culture icons in the Beatles? Why would you help the Beatles make such a great movie, but shit all over DC Comics and Superman? It just ain't right. It ain't right at all. All right, movie sucks. Just skip it.